It is the last link I have to the land of my birth. The wind knows me.
Bonjour, bonjour. Là, on se retrouve pour un live sur GENSHIN Impact. Aujourd'hui, on va faire la quête d'Archon. Voilà, la quête de Nomade. Mais pour commencer, on va faire comme d'habitude les quêtes quotidiennes. Non, c'est pas ça que je voulais faire. Voilà. Donc je le fais un peu en retard, hein, ces quêtes. Et du coup, il y a aussi la quête de l'événement à Inazuma. Bon, je suis un peu en retard, mais c'est pas grave, on va le faire quand même. Hop.
Follow the wind. Brightens the heart.
Bon, je suis encore un peu malade, mais ça va, hein, maintenant je peux parler, j'ai plus mal à la gorge. J'ai juste le nez bouché. Voilà, voilà. Donc, cette quête de nomade, j'ai été un peu spoil sur certains trucs. Et franchement, je sais pas trop quoi en penser sur ce que j'ai été spoil. J'ai pas été spoil de grand chose. J'ai surtout été spoil sur un moment où je sais qu'on peut choisir un nom pour lui, mais franchement, j'en vois pas l'intérêt. Il y aura peut-être un intérêt, hein, mais pour l'instant, j'en vois pas.
Time to go.
J'espère que dans cette quête d'Archon, parce que c'est quand même une quête d'Archon, donc j'espère qu'on va en apprendre plus sur les 5 autres voyageurs. Parce qu'on sait que à part nous et notre sœur, il y a d'autres voyageurs qui sont venus à Teyvat, donc j'espère qu'on va en apprendre un peu plus sur ça. Ou ça se trouve pas du tout. Et il va falloir attendre le retour de Dainsleif pour en apprendre plus, je pense. Ouais, donc faut passer par là. Et donc, en vrai, cette mise à jour, je l'ai un peu sous-estimée parce que je me suis dit, bon, y a pas grand chose dans cette mise à jour, ça va être un peu vide, on va se faire un peu chier au bout d'un moment. Mais en fait, non, j'ai pas l'impression parce que déjà, il y a la quête de Scaramouche que, bon, je suis un peu en retard. Il y a les événements toujours. Mais il y a surtout le jeu de cartes et ça prend beaucoup de temps. Je pensais pas que ça allait être aussi fourni. Enfin, je pensais pas que ça allait être aussi fourni, mais en même temps, c'est pas très. Il y a pas grand chose quoi. Parce qu'en gros, il y a que mon stat pour l'instant avec ce jeu de cartes, alors qu'on est quand même à 4 régions déjà. Donc. Donc oui, donc ça va toujours évoluer, je pense, le jeu de cartes comparé aux abysses. Parce que les abysses sont bien gentils, mais c'est toujours la même chose, quoi, à part combattre des monstres. Rien qui change. J'aimerais bien monter.
Time to go.
Salut Océane, comment tu vas? Bah ça va bien, merci. On t'entend mieux aujourd'hui. Ah bah oui, bah j'ai pas mal à la gorge aujourd'hui, donc ça va.
One with nature.
Quand je parle, je ne souffre pas, donc ça doit aider, je
Illusion
pense.
shattered.
The wind knows me. As one with wind and cloud. That's close enough.
Shine down.
Into the wind.
Let's light it up. Illusion shattered.
Voilà. Aujourd'hui, il y aura du monde. Bah, je sais pas. Franchement, j'en sais rien. Quel est le nom de cette arbre qui tient l'académie? Quel est le nom de ce Darshan? Je sais pas moi. Quel est le nom de ce monstre? Et quel monstre? D'accord, j'ai répondu faux à toutes ces questions, à part la dernière. Et il me félicite quand même. Bon, tout va bien.
Add Astra.
C'est toujours en train de
Thank
jouer
you for
avec
completing
les
today's
emojis.
commissions. Here it. Add Astra.
Celui-là, je l'ai jamais vu. Ah, maintenant tu l'as vu, hein, celui-là?
This realm.
Hop,
If you ever.
maintenant, faut que j'aille dans la thaïère d'Océane. Donc là, je fais ça. Niveau 15. Comment ça, niveau 15? De quoi tu me parles? Ah oui, le pass, oui. Ok, oui. Tu sors un niveau 15 comme ça, sorti de nulle part. Moi je me dis, mais qu'est-ce qu'elle me raconte, elle encore? Ouais, je voulais voir qu'est-ce qu'il y avait à farmer. Ça. Ça c'est mercredi, samedi et dimanche, ok. Comment tu me parles, c'est trop sympa. Bah écoute, tu me sors des trucs sortis de nulle part, je comprends rien. Je te demande ce que tu me racontes, c'est tout. Non, c'est... Attends, c'est où celle-là? Je sais pas quoi dire. Non, ça c'est mort. C'était hier, mais bon, hier... disons que j'ai un peu eu la flemme de jouer. Ouais, donc... go farm ça. Hein. Ouais, go farm ça. Et là j'en ai combien? 4. Ok. On peut donner un nom aux équipes maintenant? J'avais même pas vu. D'accord. C'est nouveau. Ok. J'avais jamais vu ça.
One with nature. Fallen leaves. Adorn. I'm going in. Eat this. Let's light it up. Nice and slick. Shine down. The wind raising. The clouds high. The birds call.
Voilà. Finalement, du géo ou de la glace, on n'a pas besoin.
Illusion shattered. Teamwork is strength.
Fallen leaves. Adorn my night.
Let's light it up. There is no escape. Now you shall perish.
One with nature. One with wind and cloud.
Shine down. Off we go.
Voilà.
Ascension shout of everybody stand up. Eat this!
The wind knows you. Clouds high. The birds... Time to go.
Out of the frying pan, it's... Yeah! Inazuma shines eternal! Shine down! There is no escape!
Allez, encore une fois, on pourra commencer la quête d'Archon. Ah bah j'ai eu du violet enfin.
One with nature.
I'm going in! You're toast!
Fallen leaves. Adorn my...
Let's light it up!
Wind strike. One with wind and cloud.
Torn to oblivion!
Voilà. Quête d'Archon. J'ai tellement de quêtes, c'est... J'ai aussi le truc des ISO à finir, ça fait... Depuis la 3.0 que je dois terminer ce truc, mais je l'ai jamais fait. Elle est tellement chiante aussi la quête des ISO. Bon. Prenons ma team Naïda du coup. Je vais les renommer plus tard, moi je pense, mes teams. Ouais, faudrait le faire un jour, ouais, bah c'est comme... Bah j'ai tellement de quêtes en fait à faire. J'ai un peu la flemme d'en faire parce que y en a d'elles sont chiantes. Y en a d'elles sont simples, tu dois juste aller voir des gens et tout, mais il y en a des... Elles sont hyper chiantes, genre tu dois chercher un truc mais disposer, c'est chiant. Allez, c'est parti. Bon, je l'avais lancé sans exprès, là, juste la première, premier dialogue, donc voilà. En gros, de ce que je comprends, il y a des chercheurs qui parlent d'un truc, il faut aller les voir. Voilà. C'est parti.
Ugh, if only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about him, this seems like the kind of thing he'd know about.
Oh, you're the traveler, you say?
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us?
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma. This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started, examining the evidence. Sorry.
Oh, so what? For the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social skills are kinda lacking. Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places. Would you be able to tell us about Tatarasuna?
Actually, we don't know much
much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it and wanted to learn more.
Ah, I see. My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatarasuna's past. But who'd have thought that...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tatarasuna.
Hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive or a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatarasuna. The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagamasa, who crafted a fine blade. But in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi. Why? Well, no one knows. Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a kabuki mono. This seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger, someone who dresses funny or acts in an unusual way.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This kabuki mono lived in Tatarasuna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards, as Akaba mentioned, things got pretty ugly.
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens? Seems kinda fishy to Paimon.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow, did I get lucky!
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the Government Records Office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400 years ago. Even back then, Tatarasuna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too.
Wait, so there are two missing people in this story now?
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans of Inazuma?
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin art and so on?
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan, the last practitioners of Ishin art. Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder whether it's all connected somehow.
The Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I wouldn't blame you, of course, because in all my years as a writer, this is by far the most.
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the kabuki mono was not a human, but a puppet.
A puppet?
Aha! Judging by the looks on your faces, you do know something after all.
No! Paimon just meant, how creepy. The way you described it makes it sound like a ghost story.
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected. And that's exactly what my book is about. Please, take a look.
Oh non, c'est bon. Ils vont pas commencer à nous faire lire des livres. Mais stop. J'ai pas envie de lire.
Encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think essays should be grounded in facts. I don't think explaining everything away with mysterious forces will cut it. Oh, how about if I plug the holes in Sawana's narrative with political intrigue? Like, I could put a turf war between rival factions at the center of the whole series of events.
Wait, you're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guessay there.
Akaba, look. Your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. This is as much detail as you're ever going to get. Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting, what hope would we ever have of finding out the truth?
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time. I need to find a new angle on this.
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now. Good luck with your essay!
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info about all this, please do let me know. Thanks so much.
Au revoir.
Hey, so that thing they were talking about, it has to do with the balladeer, doesn't it? Okay, then even if we did know something about it, we probably couldn't share it with them, huh? After all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super confidential, isn't it? If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are trees in the forest. There's no point in... Ah! Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like... the balladeer! No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
Donc il serait en liberté, Scaramouche. Scaramoussia, pardon.
Traveler, Paimon, there you are. Nahida! Bad news. We just saw the balladeer strolling around in public. Did he escape or... Ah! It's him!
Sure enough, you're here.
Hey! What are you doing in the sanctuary of Surasthana? Aren't you supposed to be locked up? I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, allow me to explain. It was my idea to set the balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in Irminsul for me. A deal? You sure you trust this guy?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about. But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. Could I ask you all to please calm down? But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida. Don't let him trick you.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us! As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the balladeer.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you. Considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the fullness of time. The Balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us. That puts him in quite a precarious position. Plus, he's a former Harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to respond.
Wait a second. Farmer? You mean he's not a Harbinger anymore?
I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser, so...
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui, and also between each of the Harbingers. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm not worth quite what I used to be. Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with us?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends, so I guess you'll be siding with them.
Yeah, obviously! Nihira, don't listen to him!
Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. We still have time. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate today.
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch.
Nihira, are you serious about this?
Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit. Yes. As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you today. So, you have an update on that?
Mm-hmm. You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details in the Descender category. This is an extremely important point. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the Balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information than I am. He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him.
Ouais, donc
He can still connect.
il
The
est
amount
quand
of
même un
information
peu
in
un dieu. Il a
Irminsul
quand même le pouvoir
is
d'un dieu.
vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without knowing what to look for would take too long, even for me. So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind of information, and should be able to find it more quickly.
Exactly! Or what if... Paimon just doesn't trust him! He's treated us as enemies every time we've run into him!
I understand. But sometimes, everything is dictated by which side you're on. How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart desires most of all. Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing. A feeling of being all alone in the dark, searching for the one candle whose light still burns. As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But as someone who counts you as a friend, I want to do something for you. If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth it. It's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's hero. You've more than earned it.
Paimon's still worried about this idea. Is there anything we can do to help?
I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. Seems like we have a telepathic connection. In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the balladeer on my behalf while he carries out the task I assigned. Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former harbinger. If you could accompany him, it would put my mind at ease. Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside. Great, thank you. Prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport you into Irminsul.
Ok.
Wow, it looks pretty different here compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter Irminsul ahead of you.
Shut your beak, jailbird! No way a prisoner gets to be so smug!
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now, I'm on temporary release. So maybe you should think about backing off a little.
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul. It is an environment like no other, and the most important place in all of Sumeru. Unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. You must put aside your differences and be extremely careful as you navigate your way through. I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry. This is as much for your own safety as anything else.
Fine, let's call it truce. But only until this mission's over.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are going to be traveling together after all. Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and try not to fall behind.
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that. You make it sound like you're even more experienced at adventuring than us.
If there are no further objections, I suggest we get going. Or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Ew! Ugh, the snark on this guy. It's unbearable.
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
Is this a small sapling? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him. Wow! So this is the inside of Irminsul. Ooh! Paimon's never seen anything like this. And it feels like a sacred place.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Teyvat. Every bit of information flowing here means something. Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the heart of Irminsul.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted. Go ahead.
Let's go. Stay close. Don't go running off.
Hey, so, say we did go running off in here. What would happen? What are you smirking at?
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, your best option is to stick close to me.
Ok. Bah sinon, il y a juste à suivre le chemin. C'est...
These sapling things have spread out.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
Ok, donc ça, faut pas le toucher.
It looks the same in every direction. No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place
Franchement,
to
là,
lie,
Scaramouche, il est
but
beaucoup plus
this
stylé
definitely isn't
en
it. So why don't you relax your
électro
guard a
qu'en un
little?
Nemo quand même. Hein.
We're here.
Parce qu'il y a quand même une cape accrochée à son chapeau. Et... Bref.
Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
Ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
The Balladier's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
Huh. For once, we're the ones with nothing to do.
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk? Yes, I've also invited Paimon to join.
J'ai aussi invité Paimon.
We can talk to each other inside our
heads? That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's nothing wrong with us talking like this once in a while.
D'accord.
Paimon's never tried this before. This is great.
En gros, c'est comme un groupe stable, quoi.
Paimon's been wanting
T'invites
to
les
ask
gens
you.
dans ta tête et puis vous parlez
Don't you
ensemble.
think the Balladier's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to what you say.
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers. Well done. Smart and attentive as always. So, you made contact with that part of his mind. Well, it's true. Betrayal turned the
C'est vrai que
Balladeer
Scaramouche,
into
son
the
histoire est
person
triste.
he
Hein.
is today.
Parce qu'il s'est quand même fait
Paimon's had nothing
rejeter
to
par
gain in that guy's
à sa
skin.
propre mère, la personne qui l'a créé,
He can
Raiden.
get hurt and angry just like anyone else.
Puis il n'y a jamais personne qui a
Everyone
voulu de
has a
lui, donc
history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatarasuna incident. Nahida, do you know anything about that?
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono and so on, yes. I know about all of that.
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatarasuna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their imagination. At least that's what they thought.
Oh? How interesting. Those two managed to deduce quite a lot through guesswork alone.
So the Gesse got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatarasuna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation.
Ah mais c'est bon là, le jaloux travaille, va chier.
So, have you found anything yet?
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
Wait, how did you know about that? Didn't Nahida tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you. Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something I can manage. Huh? Wait.
This light, it looks similar to those saplings. What could it be?
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement. You have to share it with us.
Shh. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatara Suna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's...
Whoa!
I have been in Tatara Suna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone else. Under your leadership, Tatara Suna is a warm, welcoming place, like a giant village. People are gainfully employed, their lives have purpose. They are motivated. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatara Suna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal marrow. The forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths. Some world-renowned, others unknown, all passing on their legacy. Skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you by myself and Akame.
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And he would be the first to admit that there's no way he could have revolutionized our forging process like this on his own. At least not on the same timescale. You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me, and now every piece of ore here is smelted using the new technique. Even now, you remain one of Tatara Suna's key consultants, working right here alongside us. I believe it is you, sir, who are truly responsible for the changes in our manufacturing and forging methods.
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma, and it has been my great honor to befriend you all.
So you say, Escher. But is this really the truth?
My good sir, what do you mean?
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected. Because I didn't want to speculate. And I didn't want to believe that things could turn out this way. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to rise at an alarming rate. And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. We've kept the truth from spreading outside, but still, I suspect you understand it better than I do. None of the people who went out to get help have come back, Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. This is our last hope. But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does. Otherwise, why would you still be standing there with that smile on your face?
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere. I'm sure you've been harboring these suspicions for quite some time.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious than I. He does things by the book.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the Shogun's own hand. If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor, an abundance of caution is well advised.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine. Are you sure you're not a little overqualified?
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat? Sadly, I am so very attached to my craft.
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem. I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably to my death. But what about you? What are you still doing here?
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem to trust me.
Drop the act! We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatarasuna has worked. I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment.
Oh mon Dieu, il l'a assassiné.
This, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
You...
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for. I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well, at least for the first few days. But to my surprise, you had your people look into my background right from the start. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias, and that I was not from Fontaine at all. And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity, and what I seek in Tatarasuna.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
If you kill me, there's no one who can get inside the furnace. So you're really going to destroy this place? Is that it?
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not
il y a du
see
foot.
him as a
Bah,
person,
génial.
but you told him yourself.
Du coup, il n'y a pas le film de Noël, il y a
You're
du
not a
foot.
puppet.
Bah, génial.
You're a human. You're just missing a heart.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out. But this makes no sense. What are you really trying to accomplish by all this?
Ils ont pas assez perdu.
Why go to all this trouble?
Ouais.
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I have in abundance. This is all part of a
Non mais à mon
carefully
avis, ils
controlled
vont jouer les
experiment.
perdants parce que pour
If
faire
you must
attendre
know,
dimanche,
I'm
hein.
happy to divulge my true identity.
Voyons.
I'm a Fatui harbinger. Call me the Doctor.
The Fatui? Who? What do you want?
Just to create a minor inconvenience for your nation.
That's it? That's why you gave us your cursed technology? Just to let loose the evil energy from the crystal marrow?
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with venom when faced with its demise. My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a
Bon, c'est un peu
catastrophe
long là.
and keeping
Peuvent
the truth
abréger un
from the
peu.
outside world. However, I did not make it with you in mind.
Surtout qu'ils racontent la même
It is
chose pendant
easier
50
for
ans
a
là.
person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled
Ah
with
oui, les
hate.
reportages comme tous les samedis.
So
Ouais,
give in to your
le grand
fury.
reportage là et
I
tout.
want to see what happens when a malevolent heart is placed into an unsuspecting puppet.
Et non,
Make
il y a
no
du foot à la place.
mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else instead. What other reason would a human have for befriending one who is not of our kind?
If you give him my heart, tell him that both Nagamasa and I see him as one of us. He has nothing to prove to anyone. Because not everyone just wants to use other people. The only ones who think like that are people like you.
What
Ah,
a
ben, il est
beautiful
mort.
way to see the world. It almost makes me feel a little guilty. Then out of respect for you, I shall redefine myself.
Bah, pour
Think
l'instant, je
of
comprends
me as
rien,
a
c'est long.
monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an easy target. You simply lost to something more powerful than you could ever hope to defeat. I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human? No, that will prove quite impossible. Mr. Niwa, already dead. What a pity.
Ouais, pour l'instant, je comprends rien. Je sais pas.
Jester, I have
Ah bah
completed
c'était
the
autoré depuis
task
le
you
début.
gave me, creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's inner workings. What fun it was.
Ah d'accord. Donc toute cette scène,
I'd like
juste
to
pour nous dire que c'est
introduce a
d'autoré depuis le
puppet to
début.
you. If he proves
C'est ça,
useful,
ok.
let's make him our newest comrade. And if not, let's turn him to dust.
D'accord, donc c'est comme ça que Scaramouche est devenu Fatouille. Ok.
Hey, are you alright?
Dottore? Dottore!
D'accord.
Good.
Pourquoi il rigole?
Good.
Was that the doctor? Did he turn into a mechanic from Fontaine? But why do we see things from his perspective?
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe so. But it means nothing.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well
D'accord,
what
c'est
that
très
means.
intéressant.
Even more so than I.
D'accord, donc Scaramouche pensait être trahi, mais il s'est pas fait trahir.
He looks really mad. Paimon doesn't want to be anywhere near him right now.
They need to give him some time to process his emotions.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So,
Ah,
the doctor
salut
was
Yulof.
behind it,
Yulof.
but why has that gotten
Comment
him
tu
so
vas?
worked up?
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand. Perhaps he needed to learn this someday. So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabuki Mono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. Later, the doctor showed up, disguised as a mechanic from Fontaine.
Ça fait quoi par ici? Bah, ça fait la quête de Scaramouche, Nomade. La quête d'Archon, l'intermède, de Sumeru. Voilà, voilà. Je viens de la commencer, enfin je viens. Ça fait... ça va faire une demi-heure que je suis dessus, mais c'est que le début. Voilà, voilà.
The doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This device seems to have protected me. What's in it?" The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for." He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocent servants. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing, but it has protected him from the filth. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, the balladeer threw the heart to the ground and left Tatarasuna without looking back.
Holy moly. So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything on the victim? That's terrible.
Bon.
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new path forward.
Ok.
Tori, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Ouais, donc à mon avis, ce sera en voyant tout ça qu'il va changer d'élément, non?
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend. It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
Ah bah il continue à chercher.
Are you investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Tevat.
Ce qui est bizarre sur ton live, c'était rediffusion. Comment ça? Est-ce qu'il t'a encore touché un truc, Océane, ou...
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that might interest you.
Huh? About what?
The reason why there are records about your sister in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was her first destination when she arrived in this world. Plus, she only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens responded?
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your sister for a time.
C'est écrit rediffusion. Ok, bah c'est pas une rediff en tout cas.
I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you about this. Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
Very valuable.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
Huh? What have you done?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very long. I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me. Give me your hand. Can you hear my voice inside your head? No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you. So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the
T'as
past?
plein de nouveaux emojis. Ok, Océane. Et je suis content pour toi.
Done.
Huh? What happened? Paimon only saw you hold hands for a second.
Nothing. I was just thanking him for helping me. So long. I suggest you get yourselves out of here quickly.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again. From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabukimono will cease to exist. Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Hey, Balladeer! Don't do anything stupid!
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than to stamp them out like the pests they are. But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all.
Balladeer! Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on, we gotta find him somehow. Oh no, he's really gone.
Oh, can you hear me?
Nahida!
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now? I was suddenly cut off by some kind of power.
It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out.
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power left. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or did he achieve something beyond his abilities, and it took everything he had?
Where the heck did he go? Ugh, it's all our fault. We were supposed to keep an eye on him. Sorry, Nahida.
Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, let me handle this from here, even though I'm not sure I can solve it. We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as possible.
Quittons l'Irminsul.
We're out! And we're at, an inn or something?
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you. I'm sorry, but This isn't something I need your help with. Leave this one to me.
An emergency? How bad is it? Nahida, will you be okay?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbances, it won't lead to a disaster. Please rest and recover your strength here until I say it's safe.
Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. What do you think the Balladeer meant? And why did he suddenly grab onto you before? He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible! Right! You can't just rewrite history! All that stuff happened already in real life! It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn, even if no one was there to see. So, why does Paimon still have a bad feeling about this? Paimon can't help but feel scared about what he might do.
Non, aujourd'hui elle fait pas de blagues.
Paimon's so confused. Huh? Sorry, Paimon accidentally. It's the Balladeer's fault for causing Paimon all this mental stress. But
Oui, t'es
erasing
niveau
yourself
20.
from history? It's unthinkable. Is that really possible in Irminsul? Uh-oh. Paimon's head is overheating from trying to understand what he's up to. And it's still not working. Ugh. Paimon's had it with that little brat. He's been nothing but trouble ever since we met him.
Mais je sais pas,
There's
c'est...
no way he'll actually succeed, right? Otherwise, won't everyone who's connected to him be affected too? There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we should do next? Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But Paimon's still so worried. So, how about, we list all our favorite foods to take our mind off things? Heck, if that doesn't work, Paimon's probably gonna collapse of anxiety here. Alright, Paimon will start. First dish.
Après tu vas refaire un live mercredi. Bah oui,
Chicken mushroom skewers. Tea
comme
bread
d'habitude, hein, comme
pancakes,
tous les mercredis et
cream
samedis, live
stew,
Genshin.
sautéed matsutake, and Dragon chili chicken, almond tofu, satisfying salad. Also Adeptus Temptation, golden shrimp balls, triple layered consomme, lotus seed and bird egg soup, and
D'accord, maintenant Paimon, elle nous parle de bouffe.
What was Paimon supposed to be doing just now? Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon, The Balladeer? Is that a food too? Huh.
Ok, donc Scaramouche s'est effacé, donc plus personne ne se souvient à part nous, vu qu'on ne vient pas de ce monde. Donc on n'est pas lié à l'Irminsul.
What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something Paimon said? So, the Balladeer. Is that someone's name? 'Cause it sounds like a nickname or something. Okay, sure. Where are we going? Huh?
like this is an emergency.
Ah, bah on va retourner à Inazuma. Ok, pourquoi pas. Mais qu'est-ce que tu te racontes encore, Océane? Mais c'est pas possible, t'es bourré aujourd'hui. Oui, d'accord, c'est les traductions de Temple d'Avier et...
Ah, it's been a while. Of course. Go ahead. Oh. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. Very well. I'll tell you what I know once more. The once renowned Raiden Gokuden, comprised of 5 branches. Amenoma, Futsu, Ishin, Hyakume, and Senju. The art of forging practiced by these 5 clans was first taught to them personally by the
D'accord,
almighty
sauf
Shogun.
que c'est un live français,
Over
Océane.
time,
Merci de parler en
the
français.
5 branches diverged from one another as generations of bladesmiths honed and perfected their craft until they became 5 distinct traditions. Most of the great swordsmith
Tu parles même
clans of
russe?
old have since fallen into decline, and for a long time, only the Amenoma branch kept its art alive. But fortunately, Kaedehara Kazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle of the Ishin art. Now, 2 clans remain of the original Gokuden 5. If my memory serves me right, you yourself were present when he forged the Ishin blade.
Désolé, je parle pas russe.
Oh yeah, we were! Paimon remembers that now. We learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden then too. It seems like such a shame.
That, my friends, is a tragic tale indeed. In fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. All these years, I knew of those great clans' demise, but never the cause.
Ah, c'est pas russe, c'est arménien. Pardon, excusez-moi.
Did I ask Kaedehara Kazuha about this? He told me that, as we are both heirs to a branch of the Raiden Gokuden, it was right that I should know the truth. There is no harm in telling you, but I must warn you.
Désolé, je ne parle ni russe ni arménien, donc
sorrowful tale.
je peux pas avoir de différence. Hein.
Were the targets of a murderous rampage by a vengeful bladesmith.
Oui, en gros, il y avait personne qui se souvient de Scaramouche.
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic
Ah, salut Anna. Comment tu vas?
One brave swordsmith heard the commotion and chose not to flee. But he
Non, c'est bon, ça arrête avec tes traductions là. Tu parles toutes les langues du monde.
Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day, and overseeing it was the armory officer.
Bah ça va, merci.
Though he had family ties to the Kaedehara clan, knowing that they had just one chance to save
C'est les vacances, et oui, c'est les vacances.
and the swordsmith leaped together into the furnace.
Oui, pour ce début des vacances, je suis malade, j'adore. Enfin, là ça va mieux par rapport à hier.
The smith's death, though heroic,
Mais voilà.
dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes.
Là ça va, en vrai je suis juste enrhumé, mais hier j'avais vraiment mal partout, mal à la gorge. Bref.
In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the almighty Shogun for her apparent indifference towards his father's death.
Ça fait 3 jours, oui ça fait depuis mercredi, mais hier c'était vraiment pire, la pire journée je pense.
The only
Ouais.
legacy he had to pass
Bon,
on to his
après,
children
normalement, je devrais
was
plus
his
tomber
hatred.
malade
Generation after
pour
generation
Noël et
bore this
Nouvel An,
grudge,
normalement. Normalement, ça devrait
living
être
in
bon.
utter misery.
Pauvre toi.
Alas,
Hmm.
if only the story could have ended there. But 100 years ago, the then
Et du
head of
coup,
this family
oui, normalement,
reached
oui.
the end of his wits. He could
Et du
bear
coup,
their
pour ces
fate no
vacances,
longer,
du
and
coup, je vais pouvoir
yet
faire un peu plus de
he could do
live.
nothing to change
À
it.
part
Finally,
le jour de Noël et le jour de Nouvel
he made a
An,
drastic
ça me
decision
paraît logique.
to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In doing so, he sought to vent his pent up anger.
Et du coup, c'est hier. Ouais, hier, j'ai commencé un let's play sur Death Stranding. Enfin, en live, du coup. Un let's live. Ouais, c'est ça, ça va occuper les vacances. Bon, après, j'ai des cours à rattraper parce que j'ai manqué 2 jours de cours. Mais bon, ça va être assez rapide, je pense.
His killing spree came to an abrupt end. He failed to catch them unawares. They fought back fiercely.
Ah ouais, après, c'est un dimanche, c'est vrai aussi.
That is why the Kaedahara clan and their Ishin art survived that day. I suppose they
Pas Nouvel An, hein. Nouvel An, c'est un lundi. Hein.
Under the dire circumstances.
Voilà. Du coup, pendant les vacances, je vais continuer Death Stranding en live, et puis voilà. Oui, le premier, c'est un lundi. Ah non, pardon, attends. On reprend le 2 ou le 3, je sais plus.
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday, in fact. We spoke for a while over some tea. He seemed well.
Ah bah c'est possible que le premier c'est dimanche. Ouais, bah c'est possible que c'est un dimanche aussi. On reprend le 3, ok.
My pleasure.
Ouais, donc le premier c'est un dimanche. Ouais, donc ce sera un dimanche, donc ça se verra pas hein, si je fais pas de live. Je fais jamais de live le dimanche parce que le dimanche c'est une grosse journée souvent. Enfin une grosse journée. Je suis pas chez moi quoi, je suis dans la famille. Ah non hein. Ah non, hein, ils vont pas me faire ce coup là encore. Hein. Pour continuer la quête, je dois faire la quête test de bravoure. Sauf que la quête test de bravoure, c'est l'événement et j'ai pas envie de le faire maintenant l'événement. Bon bah écoutez, j'ai pas le choix. Bon, bah c'est parti, allons-y. On n'a pas le choix. L'événement est sympa, faire la quête, ok. Bah l'événement j'avais prévu de le faire genre mercredi. Et pour faire la quête d'Archon là aujourd'hui. Mais ils veulent pas, ils veulent... il y a des quêtes qui entrent en conflit encore une fois. Ça c'est chiant dans Genshin. Ouais, dans 11 jours il y a Yato, c'est vrai. Et du coup dans 11 jours je ferai normalement des invocations d'Ayato. Ah oui c'est raté du coup.
Ah, it's you two. Yes, it has been a while.
We heard the Yashiro Commission is holding a test of courage, so we came right over to sign ourselves up. We didn't expect to see you here in person, though. Does that mean this event is really
Ouais, bah normalement j'ai farm, j'ai tout ce qu'il faut. J'ai même quelques artefacts et tout. Je vais juste continuer à farm les livres d'aptitude.
But naturally, I've left the planning and more trifling details to be arranged by my retainers. Considering that such events are quite popular across Teyvat, I've had numerous examples to draw from, so everything should be in good order. I'm merely here to do a routine check on the progress of the event, that's all.
Oh, Paimon gets it! So what you're saying is you're not very
Ouais, j'ai des artefacts, mais je suis en 50-50 quoi. Ouais.
Maybe you can give us a quick rundown of the event rules.
Ouais, bah moi ce sera mes premières invocations après avoir eu une Aider.
However, the possibility remains that we may yet require your assistance.
Sorry. What did you say?
Mais normalement, moi, ça ira.
Nothing.
Vu le nombre de primogènes que j'ai,
Seeing
faut
as
vraiment
I
pas avoir de
apparently have
chance
some
pour ne
time,
pas l'avoir.
I suppose we may chat about the event for a moment. As its name implies, the event is a game designed to put one's courage to the test. The venue for the event will be set up in the Chinju forest. Before the start of each round, participants will be
Et du
divided
coup,
into teams of two.
le fameux jeu de cartes,
The event staff will announce the
t'inquiète, c'est
name of
sûr
the
que tu
item
l'auras.
that
Mais
has
oui,
been
mais
placed
oui,
in
oui.
or around
Avec un
the
peu de
Chinju
volonté, on
forest
l'aura.
area.
Et du coup, le jeu de cartes, est-ce que t'as eu le temps de tester ou pas encore?
The winner of that round? Huh. So there's gonna be multiple rounds to the test of courage?
Precisely. There will be a total of 3 rounds in the test of courage because the event was actually orchestrated by 3 different parties. Merchants raised event funding, the Kamisato clan provided the grounds, and the Grand Narukami Shrine provided consulting services. As such, each of these 3 parties have selected
non, j'ai
one
pas
item
avancé
for
tout non plus.
participants to find. So,
Mais
naturally, the event will require 3 rounds to determine the winners.
En vrai, je suis niveau 3, je crois, de niveau de joueur. Donc en vrai...
We'll need to find one item each round for a total of 3 items after 3 rounds.
J'ai pas trop farm non plus. Enfin, j'ai pas eu le temps non plus de trop farm ce jeu.
We will be issuing different rewards based on the number of rounds won.
Mais je trouve ça beaucoup mieux que les abysses. C'est...
Then that will also be reflected in
Même si c'est dur, c'est plus facile quand même.
If a participant manages to find all 3 items, then they shall receive the grand prize provided by the Grand Narukami Shrine.
Ouais, c'est ça.
Ooh, a grand prize? Sounds like it could be really valuable.
As for its true value, I'm afraid you'll have to win the event first and ask Lady Guji yourself. Of course, this event is intended to measure your courage. If you withdraw from the event because you become too frightened, then you might as well forget about seeing any rewards. I'm curious myself how many people will be brave enough to make it to the end. It'll be most disappointing if nobody claims the prizes we've prepared.
Don't worry, those prizes are as good as ours! Even though just the thought of this event sends shivers down Paimon's little spine.
En fait, l'histoire de la quête d'Archon, oui. Je comprends, mais sauf que ils veulent que je fasse la quête de l'événement pour continuer la quête d'Archon. C'est chiant.
I look forward to seeing how you perform. Anyway, I think I've given you sufficient details. I'll add your names to the list of participants.
Est-ce que tu peux arrêter avec tes emojis bizarres?
3 items you'll be searching for. Please wait for a staff member to inform you at the start of the event.
Je sais pas ce que t'as aujourd'hui, mais t'arrêtes pas de mettre des emojis. Et puis parler dans d'autres langues aussi. Je teste mon clavier, d'accord?
So please, be sure to exercise caution.
Whoa, what did he mean by that? Oh, will there be spooky things in Chinju Forest? Now even you're trying to scare Paimon!
Je te montrerai après, c'est trop bien. Bah, tu me montreras. Écoute. Pour le cadeau de luxe. Ah bah... Paimon, s'il y a des récompenses, c'est toujours là. Hein. Oh purée.
Hold it right there.
En fait, dans Genshin, ce qu'on devrait avoir, c'est que si tu veux commencer des quêtes ou les faire, tu dois la sélectionner. Comme ça, il n'y a pas de quête qui rentre en conflit. Alors qu'elle fait rien. Ouais, c'est ça. Nous, on fait tout et puis c'est Paimon qui ramasse les cadeaux, tout ça. Après, c'est vrai que on n'a pas de poche, donc... Enfin, si, on a que des poches pour remettre tous les objets qu'on gagne, donc ouais, je pense que c'est Paimon, avec sa magie d'effet, elle met tout dans sa cape. Puis voilà, elle nous sert de sac à dos aussi. Puis c'est vrai qu'elle fait rien du tout. Mais en vrai, c'est une bonne question, ça. Où est-ce qu'on a mis tous nos objets?
Chinju Forest? We've already been there a million times. There's nothing scary about that place. That event's just a game for kids.
Paymon, c'est le sac à dos. Ouais, mais c'est ça.
Invocation TCG. Seriously, test of courage? Ugh, whatever. I guess if that's what the boss wants. Can you believe that? What a group of deadbeats. I'm not gonna put up with that. Nuh-uh, not in my gang.
Oh, Paimon gets it now. Dragging the gang to an event they don't want to go to won't be the best for your reputation as a leader.
Hey, this isn't about me. As leader of the Arataki gang, it's my duty to find new and tantalizing experiences for everyone. A happy gang means a happy life. Even if they can't get it through their stubborn heads now, one way or another, I'll show them how much fun a test of courage can be.
Grâce à la magie de Teyvat. Ouais, dans un sac inexistant comme... Ouais, c'est ça, grâce à la magie de Teyvat. Ouais, tout est magique.
Anyway, I'm no stranger to Chinju Forest. Sure, it was a little terrifying going through there, but hey, I'm used to it now. Seriously, what kind of scary pranks could those guys in the Yashiro Commission ever come up with?
Oui, non, mais dans les jeux, c'est souvent ça. Hein. S'il y a des trucs qui sont pas expliqués, c'est magique, t'inquiète pas. C'est la magie.
Starts complaining, I won't ever be able to show my face around here.
And after all that talk, it still boils down to you.
Ah, well, leading a gang can be complicated. You don't understand. Anywho, I've got a plan. Since there's no way I can trust the Yashiro Commission to make a fun event, I've decided to step in and spice things up a little.
Wait, you don't seriously mean that?
Oh, you bet I do. Yours truly is gonna be out scaring people. I'm taking this event to a whole nother level. But it's gonna take more than an Oni to make it happen. So I came here to recruit some help. And then I saw you come walking along. Come on, come scare people with me, please.
Venez effrayer les gens avec moi. Non mais ça va pas là. Hein.
Pretty please?
Forget it!
Pretty please?
Ah, fine. But don't forget, we're here to win the test of courage and take home the grand prize. We'll help you out, just don't
Mettre la main sur le cadeau de luxe. Non mais pas une bonne vraiment.
Yes! You're a real Oni saver. Hey, don't worry, with me around, winning the test of courage will be a piece of cake.
Bon, c'est bon, t'as fini de parler. J'aimerais bien continuer la quête de Scaramouche.
What a noisy guy. But after hearing him laugh and talk, maybe laughter is the key to making fear go away. If things get scary later, we can all start laughing.
Hey, Traveler, Paimon, enough chit-chat. We're gonna miss the event.
Coming!
Ils sont incroyables mes triple blatters. Oui, enfin... blablateur par rapport à d'autres persos, ça va. Franchement. En fait... Ouais, Ito, comme il est drôle, ça passe. Allez, on continue la quête de Nomade.
Traveler, it's been a while. If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid your timing is unfortunate. They're not here right now.
Ils ne sont pas là.
Are they out on business?
The Commissioner
Pourtant, il y a deux, je viens de le voir. Hein.
And Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place. If it's urgent, you're welcome to wait inside until they get back.
What do you think? Shall we go in?
Ouais, c'est vrai. Comme Ito il est drôle et tout, les quêtes elles vont assez vite. Enfin, les dialogues vont vite. Parce que c'est intéressant quoi. De voir des trucs drôles. Alors que voir des trucs sérieux H24 comme la quête de Heizu par exemple, l'escapade d'Heizu, c'est des trucs sérieux jusqu'au bout, donc c'est long et chiant, je trouve. Par exemple. Comme Ganyu aussi. Quand c'est que des trucs sérieux avec Ganyu, c'est long. Ou eux là aussi. Mais eux là un peu moins quand même.
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I think it should be okay.
We'll be heading in then. Thanks.
Ganyu c'est trop long avec elle. Oui, oui.
Hello, dears. Is there something you want to say? Of course, traveler. Yes, I know who you are. Miss Kamisato has told me about you. What would you like to know? Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been rather busy attending all kinds of meetings and occasionally paying visits to some. As for the commissioner himself, well, you know, busy as ever. That much hasn't changed. Although, he does seem to be in a rather good mood these days.
So pretty much business as usual in the Yashiro Commission, huh?
Very much so.
Well, got any more questions?
You're very welcome. In fact, I would love nothing more than for you to come and visit more often.
Oui, on est très occupé, madame.
I'm sure you must be far too busy to have time for that. Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so thrilled to have you as a friend.
Oui, enfin, Ayaka, on a compris depuis longtemps qu'elle est amoureuse de nous. Hein. C'est...
She admires you. I must say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a turn for the better since you arrived here. I mean it. Whenever the commissioner dines at home, Toma always joins him. I always find myself at my most relaxed when I'm serving the two of them and listening to them chat away. The commissioner has such a busy schedule that he doesn't always have the chance to take his meals at home. But given the opportunity, he always prefers to die. They say it's because Toma's a much
Oui, bon, madame, ta vie m'intéresse pas trop. Je veux juste aller parler à Hayato.
You sometimes too, you know. Always with a very fond. Miss Kamisato occasionally joins them as well. Whenever the whole family gets together and they start, it's been many years now since the late Mr. and Mrs. Kamisato passed away. As someone who is old and gray enough to have watched their son and daughter grow up, it makes me so in the future, if you ever do have the time, please know you are always very welcome at the Yashiro Commission headquarters. Wonderful. Thank you.
Paimon likes it here too. Also, you were saying something about the food here being really great. Paimon's itching to try it. We may just have to invite ourselves around for dinner sometime. Paimon meant we should come pay a visit again real soon. Ideally around dinner time.
Of course. You're always welcome.
Alright, goodbye for now. Where are we going next? Great! Goodbye, ma'am. Don't worry, we'll see ourselves out.
All right then. Take care.
On est vraiment venu pour parler de Hayato et d'Ayaka avec une vieille dame.
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Yep, everything's taken care of now. Don't worry.
Very well. Safe travels. Goodbye.
T'es pas censé voir Hayato ou Ayaka pour en savoir plus sur le Tatarasuna. Bon, pourquoi pas.
The weather is lovely and warm. Things are about to start getting lively again. Well, here we are. But what are we looking for? Something or someone?
Do my eyes deceive me, or is that the Traveler and Paimon?
Xavier, what are you doing here?
I was in the general area, and now I'm in this specific area. There, that's me. So what about you two?
We have some questions and thought you might be able to help.
Certainly do. I've researched the furnace here in some depth. If there's anything you want to know, just ask away. Like the back of my hand.
Ah oui, c'est vrai, c'est le mec qui nous a permis d'éteindre le fourneau là.
Times before. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tatarasuna years ago. They said it's all true. The history. Oh, well, it's a long story, don't you know? The tale of Tatarasuna starts a long time ago. I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation, goes back around 1,000 years. Still, the furnace has had a couple of serious maintenance issues along the way.
A couple? When exactly?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work on it either. There was a guy back then too. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological collaboration between our two nations goes back a long way. How about that?
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about Tatarasuna? Come on, ask already!
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a history lesson.
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today. Feels like we've been preparing for a history exam or something.
Paimon, je sais pas ce qu'il a, mais il arrête pas de poser des questions.
Did you just wake up today with a sudden burning desire for historical knowledge? Sure, go ahead. A kabuki mono? No, I can't say that I have. I do know the word, Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. Just the sort of person that I'd like to be.
Ah bah on est de retour à Inazuma, donc oui ça me blesse. C'est ça.
Nor have I come across anything to do with a kabuki mono where Tatarasuna is concerned. Of course! Don't mention it.
Oh, we're leaving? Okay, bye Xavier!
Bon, petite théorie, Scaramouche est entré dans l'Hermine Soul, a effacé son souvenir, mais il va revenir sous un autre nom. Voilà. Et un autre élément.
Sure, but what's up with you today? Keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile. No matter what happens, Paimon will... Hey, don't mention it. Alright, let's head off and go meet Nahida.
Allez, retournons voir Naïda. Écho du passé. Attends, ça s'appelle l'acte final du kabuki mono. D'accord, donc c'est sûrement la dernière partie, non? Ou est-ce que ça n'a rien à voir? On verra.
Hey, it's them.
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
Indeed we are. If you have a moment, we'd love for you to join us once more.
We have time. What do you want to talk to us about?
Ici, on est pressé en fait. Ah non, bah non. Du coup, non, on veut savoir si vous vous rappelez de Scaramouche.
Obviously.
Still looking for more info about Tatarasuna, huh? Should we join them?
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress. Huh? Oh, of course.
Ah non, mais stop. Hein.
I presume you'll want to read mine as well.
Je vais pas relire un truc que j'ai déjà lu, que j'ai même pas lu tout à l'heure.
Well, what do you think?
Hey, Traveler. Remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about all this? Well, we just got back from Inazuma. So how about...
What did you find out? Something big?
It's a long story. Basically, we have some friends in Inazuma, and...
Wow, so many new details. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Well, well, so it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. You heard this from a member of the Amanoma clan, you say? Then I guess it must be true. Ugh. So there's no ghost story here after all.
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swordsmiths were seen as having an incredibly prestigious role in society those days, to the extent that harming them was conceived of, at least by the perpetrator, as a way of exacting revenge against those in power.
Yes, okay, point taken, you were right. But that doesn't mean I can't carry on with my novel.
And they're back at it. These guys are really into this.
Oh, so sorry. Look at us, prattling on about our projects and ignoring you. Thank you so much for the information.
You're welcome. See ya.
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Will do. Nahida, we're here! Traveler, Paimon, how have you been? Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting and chatting until suddenly, the sun was up. And then, he decided he wanted to go to Inazuma. The Balladeer?
Ouais, elle non plus. Bah oui, elle vient de ce monde.
Some kind of code name.
Du coup, est-ce que Scaramouche, il va se rappeler de lui-même?
Is there something you need to tell me?
Ah oui, tu viens pas d'ici, donc... Mais comme nous on vient pas d'ici, on se rappelle de tout.
You look so upset. That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Irminsul, hoping that he could change the past. But how was he even able to do that? As the Traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently.
D'accord. Ils se souviennent quand même qu'il y a une carapace mécanique, mais elle se souvient qu'il y avait personne dedans. Ok.
The world would change to reflect the new reality. So, you believe this person really existed, and we just don't remember him because, well, because he literally changed the world? Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. But I'm struggling to imagine the kind of person who would dare go through with it. The Traveler comes from a world beyond Tevat. That's why there's no information about him in Irminsul, And it also explains why any changes to Irminsul wouldn't affect him. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten...
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this balladeer guy's motivations. Why did he do it?
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what kind of person he was, only you remember that. Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share? It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right? Once the balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatarasuna. Now he saw them as friends again. He couldn't keep hating humans after that. And if he thought there was a chance he could save his old friends, it would be hard not to try. This story makes sense, every part of it. The balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the doctor's help. He was unsuccessful, but retained the power to connect with Irminsul. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul and erase himself, even though he didn't have much strength left.
Tu vas finir pour quelle heure?
It does make sense.
Bah, je vais voir après ça où est-ce qu'on en est. Et je pense m'arrêter parce qu'elle a l'air longue en fait la quête. Et du coup je pense arrêter le live dans pas longtemps et puis reprendre le live ce soir pour reprendre la quête. Après le live il est commencé tard par rapport à d'habitude. Et tu sais pourquoi.
Please wait a moment. I want to check something.
Oui, pour continuer la quête, je pense.
Found it. This should be the one. It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming everything he has told us. What is it? A record from a personal collection.
Bah, ce soir,
It was tucked away in a corner.
pendant les Miss France, je pense, vers 21h, 21h30. Oui, non, pas ce soir, genre 18h, tout ça, non. Je préfère le faire en soirée, comme ça j'ai tout le temps que je veux.
I authored this record myself.
Huh? You wrote a fairy tale that somehow has something to do with the balladeer?
When combined with the traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Everything in it is a symbol for something else.
Hold on. So this record survived from the past?
Yes. Any information
Je veux pas regarder avec nous. Non merci madame, ça m'intéresse pas. Des défilés de mode. C'est pas trop mon délire.
Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup before the balladeer entered Irminsul.
That's incredible! What a great idea!
And sending the traveler into Irminsul with the balladeer must have been a further precaution. I knew he'd remember everything. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one he told us. The now erased life.
Pour Scaramouche, qu'il est vraiment mort et on veut le ressusciter, c'est ça le truc.
There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. The monster lived with the family, day and once in a while. The monster would take off its fox fur at night, and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity.
Ouais, c'est vrai que c'est très technique comme histoire, c'est...
I pity them.
Et puis, comme je suis un peu dans les vapes...
The monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin.
C'est un peu compliqué des fois à comprendre.
Carved from the wood of a white tree who had been abandoned by the humans. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, they spoke words of comfort to the kitten. Even without a tail and fur like ours, you are still one of us. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us. Surely you can help us find a way to solve this." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water.
Bah, c'est très triste comme histoire, dis donc.
Spotless.
Mais c'est quoi le rapport avec Scaramouche?
The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this."
Ah d'accord, non mais le monstre il tue le chat parce qu'il est jaloux.
The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after.
Non mais elle a fini de faire mourir tout le monde dans son histoire, Naïda.
Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly, gnashing its teeth at the moon. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness, then it would finally be peaceful and content. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world. And no one can know that they were different.
D'accord.
We solved it!
Donc le point commun avec Scaramouche, c'est la vengeance, je pense.
This is not just the balladeer story. It is his very own memories. I made a backup so that it would be preserved no matter what happened. To become a god, he was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture, and the only reason he was able to survive is that
comme par hasard, elle avait des trucs sur Scaramouche dans ses archives.
Extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves with. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later use. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered.
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us on more than one occasion. Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished like a puff of smoke.
The balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful, he still helped you. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail. That Conria was where your twin first came into this
Oui, bah ça on savait déjà. Tu m'as déjà dit.
We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own harbinger. It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around. But still, Paimon doesn't like the way it all ended that much better.
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend, but the question still troubles us. So the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth and then conquer the troubles they face. When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to
mais Naïda, elle est forte pour embrouiller les gens, elle. Hein. C'est pire qu'une prof de maths. Hein.
Never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom is always there, guiding us toward a better destination. And that is what you have been doing all along.
Yeah, Nahida's right. Cheer up. How about we go get something to eat? We can pick up this heavy conversation again later.
Good idea.
Beaucoup de blabla, oui. Je vois ça.
Why don't we take him out for a walk to clear his head?
You got it. Come on, traveler. You need to get out of your head for a while. Let's go get a snack for one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar. That'll be sure to lift our spirits.
Hop. Alors, quelle heure il est? Ok, il était juste 17h10. Juste faire un petit selfie avec Naïda. Faut que je prenne le truc. Voilà. Ouais, du coup, je vais m'arrêter là. Photo souvenir, c'est ça. Parce que la première fois, j'avais pas pensé à prendre une photo avec elle, et puis bah surtout que la première fois, j'avais pas encore Naïda, je crois. Bon, bref. Dans tous les cas, je vais m'arrêter là pour ce live, et je vais le relancer ce soir vers 21h, 21h30 pour finir cette quête d'Archon. Voilà. Voilà, donc on se retrouve ce soir pour finir cette quête d'Archon. On espère la finir ce soir. Ah, bah c'est pas... Ah bah tant pis. C'est pas grave, Anna. C'est pas grave si tu pourras pas venir. De toute façon, tu pourras venir à un autre live, je pense. Hein. Il y aura plusieurs lives pendant ces vacances. Ouais. Il y a la rediff au pire, ouais c'est ça. Il y a la rediff sur Twitch et puis sur YouTube aussi. T'inquiète, je viendrai aux autres. Oui, bah normalement, du coup dimanche, non, je ferai pas de live. Parfait, alors ouais c'est ça, il y a la rediff sur Twitch et sur YouTube aussi qui sort. Et sur YouTube, il y a un délai parce que c'est assez long. Voilà. YouTube, c'est pas la meilleure plateforme pour mettre des vidéos de 2 heures par exemple. C'est vrai qu'une rediff de 2 heures, c'est lourd pour YouTube. Et ouais, du coup, dimanche c'est sûr il n'y a pas de live, mais par contre lundi, je ferai un live et je continuerai Death Stranding, hein, du coup, que j'ai commencé hier. Voilà, donc si ça t'intéresse de voir jouer à Death Stranding, ça change un peu de Genshin en effet, c'est pas du tout la même ambiance. Voilà, donc bah je vais m'arrêter là et puis du coup à ce soir pour ceux qui viennent ce soir. Voilà. Ok Anna, bon bah du coup à lundi Anna, vu que tu viens pas ce soir. Allez, salut Anna. Voilà, du coup n'hésitez pas à me suivre sur Twitch pour les gens qui regardent sur YouTube. Ah Ah non mais c'est bon, tu vas pas commencer à parler espagnol. Hein. Bon allez, salut.